Hello, welcome back to Budget in a Book. We have finally made it through the month of May. I know my family is super ready and excited for the summer. My kids only have a few more days of school left. So today I thought I would go through and balance out my May budget and show you how I do this process. So on this page in my Budget in a Book is where I keep track of all of my monthly spending. And I've showed you in a previous video how I set up this page, but essentially I document how much that my husband and I got paid, how much we budgeted for gas, entertainment, groceries, everything else, time spent with our kids, and then our own fun money, my husband and I's fun money. So today I'm going to balance out my budget to see if we ended up going over budget for the month of May or if we stayed under budget, and then decide how to allocate that money if there's any left over. So first I'm going to start up with our payroll. So as I've said in a previous video, I have how much my husband and I expect to get paid each month. We get paid twice a month, but often my husband does extra hours beyond his normal salary, and so sometimes his paycheck is actually bigger than what we have budgeted. So in this case, you can see here if our paychecks were above or below what we anticipated. So I'm just going to add those up to start. So my husband, his first paycheck, he got an extra of $2.42, and then on his second paycheck, he got only $4 extra. And then on my two paychecks, because of taxes and insurance, sometimes my paycheck is actually a little bit smaller. So I'm going to subtract out 19 from my first paycheck and 25 from my second paycheck. So that shows that we have an extra of $202 this month. So I'm going to write here plus 202, and that was from our salary. And I put that here in the box for positive money because that's extra money that we have to work with. Now I'm just going to go through each of our categories and add up what we spent and subtract it from what we had budgeted. So for gas, we had $26 plus 73 plus 43. So that equals we spent a total of 142, which means that we were under budget. So I'm going to do 225 minus 142. So we were under by $83. Okay, now I'm going to do the same with our entertainment. You can see this month, I don't know about you guys, but May is just a crazy month in our house. There's so many different activities going on. My husband and I are tired. It's the end of the school year, so we have some spending here that we wouldn't normally have. Like we rented several movies just through our TV. We got gas station snacks one day. Like this just feels excessive, but it's okay. It's the month of May, so sometimes we're just trying to survive. I heard somebody refer to it recently as Maycember because it often feels as busy as December, and I would agree, and often I feel like May is even busier. Okay, so for entertainment, we spent a total of 110. So total 110, which means that we were under budget by $15. Okay, groceries. So we have 102 plus 22. Oops, I made a mistake there. Let's go back. 22 plus 302, 795. This actually makes me super happy because we went under budget by $105. Groceries are super expensive. It's been crazy what our groceries have cost lately. But I have found I usually try to go to Costco once a month. You can see I actually went several times this month. But I usually try to do Costco once a month, and then I go to just our local Kroger or Walmart the other 3 weeks. And one way that I've been finding that I've saved a lot of money with our groceries is by actually doing our Kroger order online and having it delivered to our house, which we do end up paying like a $7 delivery fee. But I find that it actually helps me manage my budget so much better because I can keep track of the total as I go, and it also reduces the amount of impulse buys that I have. So this is great because next month I do my shopping on the weekends, And next month in June, there's 5 weekends in the month of June. So I know that I'm gonna need a little bit extra money next month rather than a 4 weekend month. So I'll probably just end up rolling this money over into next month. Plus, I don't know about you and your families, but my kids tend to eat a lot more in the summer because I think because they're home, they're just more hungry. And so if I have a little extra money in the month of June, that will really help. Okay, I'm gonna total up our everything else. In a previous video, I explained that this everything else budget is essentially anything that's not groceries or not entertainment or not gas ends up being everything else. Sometimes it's clothes, sometimes it's shoes. Sometimes you can see this month, like we needed to buy some more probiotics. One of my kids lost their water bottle, so we had to replace that. So it's just a bunch of random things. We had a birthday in the month of May. So our total for our everything else was $228. So I'm gonna do $275, our budgeted amount, minus $228, and that equals $47. So we were under budget in this category for $47. Okay, time spent with our 2 older kids. This is a goal of mine and my husband's this year, that we want to be more intentional and spend some extra time with our 2 older kids. So that's what this budgeted item is for. So we spent a total of $88, and that means that we were under budget by 12. And my own fun money, I went out to dinner with a friend. I got some coffee one day, and then I bought some glass beads for a craft I was working on. So my total was 41, which means I was under budget by $9. Okay, so now that I've done all my categories, I'm gonna go through and calculate how much, excuse me, how much I was over or under. Actually, this is great because I was under budget in all of our categories, so I'm just gonna add those up. So we have 83 plus 15 plus 105 plus 47 plus 12 and plus 9. So we have an extra of $271. So I'm gonna put that up here in my positive money. That's how much money we had budgeted but didn't end up spending, so 271. So I'm just gonna write here, underspent. That just helps remind me. So now, in order to finish balancing out my whole budget, I'm going to add up any positive money I have and then subtract out the negative money. I explained in a previous video, the negative money is sometimes expenses come up throughout the month that don't really fit into any of the other categories. And so sometimes I'll just document it here as negative money, and then once I balance out my budget, I'll account for all of that. So for instance, we signed our kids up for like a summer camp. We got a camping spot to go camping this month. My older kids had a sports banquet, so we had to pay for that. And then we just got a notice in the mail that our mortgage is actually increasing due to our escrow. So I accounted for that here. In the month of August, we plan on redoing our whole budget and kind of updating it for this next year. And so that extra money will need to be added into our regular budget so that I don't have to account for it every month here. So I'm gonna do 202 plus 271. So we have a positive amount of money of $473, and then I'm gonna subtract out these individual items here. So minus 70, minus 26, and that 122. So that means we are ending the month in the positive, which is always great. I love ending the month in the positive, of $150. So I'm just gonna write that here. So end of June, or end of May, we have plus $150. So now, as I said, we're gonna determine what to do with that money. I know that next month I'll probably need more money for groceries because next week is a 5-weekend month, plus it's summer and my kids eat like crazy. So I think I'm going to take 50 of that and just add it to my grocery budget for next month. So I'm just gonna come over here and write 50. So that means that next month now I will have $950 for our grocery budget. And then that extra 100, more than likely we'll put it towards our mortgage, because that's one of our main goals, is to continue to throw extra money at our mortgage to try to get that paid off early. So I will probably end up just throwing that extra 100 over in that category. But essentially that's what I do every month at the end of the month in order to balance out my budget. Now I know some of you are probably thinking, there are spreadsheets for this, like why do you have to add it all up? Like you could just put it into a spreadsheet and have it do all the calculations for you. And that is very, very true. And some people prefer to do it that way. It just makes more sense for them. But for me, I kind of like the old school book. I love to have records where I can go back and see month by month exactly what we spent money on. I find it enjoyable to do this process on paper, and I find that it keeps me more accountable for our budget when I have it right here in a book in front of me rather than on my computer. So there are definitely other ways to do this exact same process in a digital format, but for me, this is what works well for me. So if you enjoy this type of content, please subscribe or like this video so that I know that this is content that you enjoy watching. And then please leave a comment down below to tell me if your budget system is similar to ours or if there's anything that you do differently. I would love to learn from you. And maybe that will help me change and update my process too to see how other people do this. So thanks for watching today, and I hope you have a great day.